Problem number 1, we've got two rectangles. One is 10 by 8 and the other one is 6 by 4. And we're asked to find the difference between the two non-overlapping regions of the two rectangles. Okay, so the non-overlapping regions, I can use a highlighter here and show them. So the non-overlapping regions are this part here. Okay, pretend I've actually got this whole thing highlighted, and the other non-overlapping region would be this part here. Okay, so those are the two non-overlapping regions, and we're asked to find the difference between those two. Okay, this part here would be the overlapping region. Okay, so you might be looking at this and wondering, well, how much do they overlap? And I would start by doing a little bit of exploration with this. Let's look at a couple of extreme cases. Let's look at the case where the overlap is basically nothing. So we have the case where we've got the big rectangle and the small rectangle. This one is 8 by 10, and this one is 6 by 4. And in this case, there's no overlapping region, so essentially the difference between the non-overlapping regions is just 8 times 10, which is 80. Okay, that's the area of the big rectangle. And 6 times 4, 24. That's the area of the smaller rectangle. And so the difference between the non-overlapping regions is 56. All right. So that's one extreme case where the overlap is 0. Let's look at another case where we've got the two rectangles, the same two rectangles, of one bigger and one smaller. And let's say they overlap completely. All right. So this is the 8 by 10, and this is the 4 by 6. And in this case, the overlapping region is essentially the whole small rectangle. So the non-overlapping region is this part right here. Okay, and the difference between the non-overlapping regions is just going to be this yellow area. Okay, so again, we can just take, you can see that the area that we're interested in is the area of the big rectangle, 8 times 10, which is 80, minus the overlapping region here, which is 24, which again is just 56. So, does that hold for all cases? Well, let's take a look at this one, this original drawing with the two rectangles. And let's take a case where this overlapping region is x by y. Okay, we aren't told how much they overlap. So let's figure out what the difference is between the two non-overlapping regions. Okay, so we're looking for the difference between the yellow and the pink areas. So it's basically yellow minus pink. So the yellow area is going to be what? It's going to be 80, which is the area of the big rectangle, 8 by 10, and then minus xy. Okay, xy being the area of the overlapping region. Okay, so that's the yellow area. That's the first non-overlapping region, and we want to subtract from that the other non-overlapping region. Okay, because we're looking for the difference between the non-overlapping regions. All right, so what's that? Well, it's essentially 4 by 6, which is 24, minus xy, which is the area of the overlapping region. Now, if we distribute this is like a -1. We could say this is plus -1 times this. Okay, so we could distribute the -1 here, and then we get 80 minus xy minus 24, and when we take -1 times -xy, we get positive xy. Okay? And then we have a negative xy and a positive xy, which when we add those together, they become 0. And so then, no matter what our overlapping region is, the difference between the two non-overlapping regions is always going to be 80 minus 24, which is 56. So, no matter what you do, no matter how big this overlap is, the difference between the non-overlapping regions is going to be 56 units. And I guess they don't really tell you what the units are, but they're units. Okay? So, there you go. The answer is 56 units.